Okay. Yes, it should be okay. Open, and I'm going to share also my screen so that you can see. Okay. So the first thing that we're going to talk about today is the anti-harassment and violence protocol. Okay. So first of all, I want to, okay. So that is me, Matilde, and I'm a ECB audit and compliance team member. I am from Italy. I joined ISEC in Venezia in November 2016. Yes, when in my first year of university. And right now, the only thing that I do, except ICB, is I am an international relations student. So what we are going to talk about, I already told you, just to remind you that we have the class Star Wars. So be sure that to fill after the form and everything, and to make sure that your class star wins. So yeah, this is what we are going to talk about today. So I just want to start with the deep definition of prevention. Then we are going to talk about the harassment prevention committee, and then what has changed in the protocol since the last change with the APIP and AEPP. So first of all, prevention, according to the Oxford Dictionary, is the act of stopping something bad from happening. As you can know, as you can imagine, not everything is always going to be perfect. Not everything is going to be according to the rules. So what we need to do, we need to make sure that we have some kind of protocols, some kind of action that we can do to stop something bad from happening. And that is the what the anti-harassment and violence protocol is about. So as you can see, this is the clause present in the harassment, the 5.52, that tells you that ISEC encourages specific training for members of the organization on sexual harassment, sex-related harassment, and psychological harassment. So even though every one of us wants this kind of stuff to happen, is going to happen anyway. I can tell you first experience. I was sure during my term of ECB chair last year for ISEC in Italy that nothing bad was going to happen, and then it happened. And then it was my responsibility to start to make sure that everything was going to be all right for the people involved in the incident. So that is why prevention is important, not only for the meaning of the word per se, but also because it's written in our documents, and this is something that we need to follow. So what can we do if something happens? We have the Harassment Prevention Committee. The Harassment Prevention Committee is that committee that has to deal with harassment and violence. How does it do and how it is composed? So the first thing, how it is composed. As you can see, it is composed by 4 to 5 members. So one from the MC, usually it's MCP or any legal representative inside the MC. One or maximum 2 externals that could be advisor, lawyer, or psychologist, because of course, regarding the matter of discussion, this is better to have this kind of profiles. Then we have an ethic responsible or the chair of the subcommittee of ethics, if your entity has a subcommittee of ethics. If not, there is the ethic responsible. And the ECB chair for the exchange related situation. This is the committee usually. What happens if the harassment has been reported after the finish of the RE or departure of the EP? You need to add to these 4 to 5 people, you need to add the MCP or the legal representative inside the other MC. So there has to be a MC representative of both entities, so both sending entities and hosting entities. Both sending entities and hosting entity chairs, the hosting entity external, so that is external or externals if you have 2, and the hosting entity ethic responsible. So from 4 to 5, the committee goes to 6 or 7. And most importantly, guys, it is mandatory to have an harassment prevention committee in your entity. It is not something that you need to like say, okay, if I have time, I'm going to just build it. No, it is mandatory because it's written in our documents, but also for common sense, because we need to make sure that even if we think that everything is going to be okay, we have some people in charge of that situation. Then I told you how it is composed, and now I'm going to tell you what does it do. So I decided to divide the work of the anti-harassment committee. Also, it's written in this way in the protocol in 3 ways. So we have when it received the incident report, they investigate the incident, and then report the conclusion. So the report is the incident report is a report that EP sends to one of the representatives of the anti-harassment committee. It has to be in written format, and as you can read here, anonymous reports are accepted but not recommended. Why? Because in some cases, and the committee can decide to hold interviews with the party involved in the incident. So it is important to have all the name, at least the name, and some kind of contacts to contact the people to investigate better the incident. If DCP doesn't know any kind of contact of the harassment prevention committee, the report could be sent to the LC, and then the LC has the obligation to send the report that they received to the harassment prevention committee. So when you receive this report, you have 24 hours to communicate that you've received this report to the ECB chair. Then the prevention committee needs to reconstruct the timeline of the incident and place the facts where it happened in order then to understand actually what happened and what can be done to solve the situation. As I already told you, you can use interviews to gather more information on the case. Of course, it depends on the case and depends on the people if they want to be interviewed or not for these matters. But the important thing is that you make sure that at least you have a written format of everything that you can check and that you can actually use for gathering information. If you think that the things that you have written are not enough, you can use interviews. Of course, be careful because maybe some people are still in shock for what happened. So make sure that when you want to use interviews, these are very gentle and nicest as possible. Then, after you reconstruct everything, you need to finish the investigation and send the incident report, the final incident report, in 7 days. So you have 7 days from the reception. So you have 7 days, 24 hours to start the investigation after the receivement, and then the remaining 6 days to investigate and reach a conclusion with all the committee. This final incident report needs to be sent and send to the ECB chair and the AIVP organizational strategy, and needs to be signed by all the members of the committee in a PDF format. If this case involves only members, it is also to be sent to the AIVP ESG responsible and the global ESC chair. What has changed? So, you know, we had this huge governance renewal in last months. So what happened to the former prevention anti-harassment and violence protocol, and what has changed? These changes are the following. Okay, first of all, if you never saw the anti-harassment protocol, it is divided in the following way: introduction, principles, applicability, concepts, and then all the concepts of harassment, so sexual harassment, sex or gender-related harassment, and psychological harassment. The protocols for the resolution, so how the committee is working, So we have some changes here in the incident report and in the Harassment Prevention Committee procedures and report. Then what are the protocol for our incident investigation, confidentiality and protection of the data, preventive measures, sanction, what has happened, and report template. So this is the whole structure of the protocol, and the changes happen in the highlighted parts. So during the incident report, harassment prevention committee procedures and report, and sanction and disciplinary action. So the changes in the procedures and the report are the one that I already explained you. So I'm going just to repeat that anonymous claims will be accepted, but it's highly recommended to avoid, as I already told you also why. Also the report procedures. So I receive a claim. I have 24 hours to inform the ICB chair or the ESG chair, and they should be informed by email containing the following topics: the date of the original claim made to the committee. So we need to check if the 24 hours were respected. Brief of the case, including the date of the incident. So what is the incident about and when this incident happened. And then which are the people in charge of investigating this case and what are their roles inside the prevention committee and also in ISAC, in case it's ISAC, and in case it's external, just put what their job is, and a contact detail. And then you have 7 working days after informing the ICB chair or the SG chair to investigate the facts. And then you need to submit the final report that is explained in the topic 6 of the annex. So the last page of the annex is how the final report needs to be presented to ICB chair or ESG chair. And in case it has to be also sent to AIVPs, as I already told you. Then the only change that we have in sanction and disciplinary action is this one. So if during any kind of case that is tampered, unreported, or in which the investigation and reporting floor are not respected, it's up to the ICB to evaluate if both entities, so sending entity and hosting entity, will count with one of the official case lost per exchange participant involved. So it's up to ICB to decide based on the case if both entities acted not according to the protocol. So if ICB judged that both entities did not respect the protocol and did not make anything to make sure that EP was safe and it was protected by this protocol, they can count one of official case lost per exchange participant. Okay, so that is my part. And if you, I think we have, yes, if you want, if you have some question, you can ask me. Is everything clear? Of course, guys, this was a very, very brief explanation of what the committee is about. You need to read the whole document, so the whole protocol, to understand better everything. That is what you need to know of what happens in the life of the Harassment Prevention Committee.
Good. So, can you hear me?
Yes.
Amazing. So, guys, now we will start to talk about the whistleblowing protocol. That it's the second part of our special cases in APIP. I just wanted to tell you about the harassment committee that there will be a super interesting thing. We thought to add in the global contact list a tab for the harassment prevention committees. So what we will ask you to do is to fill this tab with the components of your committee and the contacts. So it will be available for everyone in ISAC and also for sure for your national plenary. This tab is not 100% ready. When it will be ready, we will share with you the global contact list and you can fill with your harassment prevention committees. Yay. So now I will share my screen. Okay, good. Today we are a few people though. What happened? Call your friends because these protocols are really, really important actually. Okay, so meet your FASI. I am Mika, it's always me, ICB team leader for audit and compliance. This is the quote that I brought to you today, zero expectations, big emotions. I am from Italy and Bosnia and Herzegovina. Joined ISAC in October 2014. And the life outside ISAC, I am a law student. Alignments for the session. Remember that we're in the middle of the cluster wars, though. So if you didn't do it yet, change your name in name entity cluster. Okay, so we can start with the whistleblowing protocol. Where is the whistleblowing protocol? The whistleblowing protocol is in the Annex 3 of APIP. So you will find all the protocol in an annex. It's not inside of the main document, and it's just 3 pages, the whole protocol. I see that someone is writing in the chat. If you have something urgent to say, please.
The presentation is blocked. I can see that you are on the Google presentation page, but we cannot see the presentation.
Can you give me host, Mati?
Yes, wait, that I found it. Where is it? Why I cannot find? It should be done now.
Okay, so I will go again. Okay, can you see it now?
Yes, yes, now it's working.
Amazing. So this is our first slide. I was telling you that you can find the whistleblowing protocol in the Annex 3 of APIP. It's just 3 pages. So I highly suggest you to go and read it by your own also, because it's really clear and it's just 3 pages. Let's start with the definition of the whistleblowing protocol. The whistleblowing protocol is an official reporting mechanism that will create a direct reporting channel with ICB. Whistleblowing is justified when a misconduct wrongdoing falls into one or more of the following categories. So what we know till now about the whistleblowing protocol from this sentence is it's an official reporting mechanism. So it's a channel that you can use to report something. And to whom will you report something? You will report this to ICB. But when is this protocol used? You use this protocol when there is a misconduct or wrongdoing happening. But what is the misconduct or wrongdoing that is happening? By misconduct, we understand every potential violation of internal regulations of APIP, AEPP, premises, standards, organizational values, and implementation guidelines. So here we can see that by misconduct, we intend every violation or potential violation. So it's not just something that already happened, so a violation that happened, but also a violation that it's potential. So it's something that it's likely to happen. And this something likely to happen, it's a violation of APIP, AEPP, premises, standards, organizational values, and implementation guidelines. So basically everything that is written and standard in our organization. I see still the chat. If there is something urgent, please just open the mic because I won't read the chat. Good, now I will give you some examples. Yes.
It's just that we cannot see the presentation full screen. I don't know why, but we just see the Google Chrome, like all the Google Chrome. We cannot see it full screen.
Yeah.
Try to click present once again.
Does it bother you that much? Can you see the slide?
It's not that much
You can see
clear.
it? You cannot see it? Can you read the content of the slide?
Not so good.
Really? I sincerely don't know why this is happening. So I can try to redo it again. Wait. Yeah, I mean, I really think that you can read it good. Sorry, but like,
Mika,
it's just
Mika,
yeah.
edit the chat of internal control board of the presentation, the one on the left, on the right, where it's my name, say as left.
What?
That one.
Okay.
So in theory, the presentation is a little bit bigger. And I don't know. I see it well, so.
Like, I don't know why it opens it like this. It never happened to me that it opens it like in Chrome like this. But it's like almost full screen. So I don't see why you don't see it.
Yeah, just continue.
Yeah, okay, great. So I was telling you what is a misconduct in general. So what is the definition of a misconduct? Now I will give you some examples of what a misconduct can be in concrete. It can be a standard violation. It can be fake exchanges. So I don't know if this is the first time that you hear about fake exchanges, but fake exchanges are happening in Isaac. It's a fraud that is happening in Isaac. And for the first time, we legislated what a fake exchange is. And there are 3 types of fake exchanges. The first one is fake approval. What does it mean, fake approval? A fake approval is when an AP is approved in the system and is not being aware of the exchange process going on. So there is someone that it's approved, but this person doesn't even know that it's being approved. Then there is the fake realized. What is the fake realized? An AP realized in the system without traveling and or not being aware of the exchange process. So again, we have some person that it's not aware of being realized with Isaac, or this person is realized in the system, but this person never arrived in the hosting entity. This is a fake realized. Then the last one is fake completed. It's when you use fake realization criteria and or the P not being the one responsible to fill the standard survey. So it happens, it happened. So don't think that this is something like in Mars or something super strange. It happened that some members of Isaac would take the credentials of isaac.org of the APs and would fill the standard survey for them in order to get a complete. This is really, really, really bad. And this is a violation. And this is a fake exchange. So this is something that you, if you get to know that this is happening in an LC, in an entity, you can report it to us directly. And another thing, another example I can give you is blackmailing or threatening the APs. So it also can happen that an Isaac member is threatening our customers, and etc., etc. So you can imagine that there are a lot of different misconducts that can happen. These are just examples for you to have clear in your mind what it is that can happen. Now there is a super important topic that I want to talk to you about that is connected with the whistleblowing protocol. No, first is this, sorry. So I wanted to talk to you about what is the procedure of the whistleblowing protocol. So I told you what it is in general. I told you some examples. So in your mind, you already have, okay, if this something happens, I can report it. But who is responsible for reporting? The responsible is any Isaac entity or individual can bring forward a complaint. So it's not just like MCP, MCVPs, it's like anyone that works in Isaac, an Isaac member, can report that something wrong is happening. And how do you report it? You submit an email, so it's super clear, super easy, to the following email address, icbchair.ai.isaac.org. But what do you...
Sorry, your screen is stuck to the slide number 4. I can see the slide definition. I cannot see the slide that you're talking about.
This is my nightmare going on right now. Okay, we may do it like this. I can put, can you see it like this?
I think that if you click present, you see the presentation, but we don't see the presentation. So yeah, you can do it in this way.
Sem condivisione schermo. Yeah, it's weird because I am like sharing my screen.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I can see your screen, but when you click present, it's stuck on the Google page. So if you don't present, maybe it's better, I don't know.
Mika, maybe you're just sharing the...
So let's go with the...
Sorry, Mika, I think maybe you're just sharing like that that part of your screen. If you share it all, maybe you can see it when you put present.
I mean, it's working now. She's now on number 6.
You don't see it like this?
Now, yes. Now, yes.
Now we do.
Oh my God, what is this? Sorry, I'm not using my laptop. So I'm like, why is this happening? It's so weird. It never happened to me. So anyways, how do you do it? You submit an email to the following email address, that it's the address of the ICB chair. What is the content of this email though? Like you are now an Isaac member or also an ECB chair, can be, and you see that there is an entity that is doing fake exchanges. They are making their members fill the standard survey instead of the AP. Okay, this is something for sure to report to us. But what do you need to write in this email? You need to write the reasons for raising the complaint. So you need to write, okay, I'm raising this complaint because there is a violation going on and it's a fake completed and blah, blah. Background information, so documents, proofs, emails, scanned documents, and detailed description of the current situation. So you need like really to explain detailedly what is going on. So I know that this is happening because I don't know, it may be that someone from the LC showed you some messages of the LCP, of the TLC, that is telling like, yeah, just access their accounts. So it can be, you should have also proofs, of course. Like it's not something, oh, I heard, maybe, I don't know. Like you should have proofs for this. And then contact information of all the parties that are relevant to the case. Also, an additional thing that you can ask to the in the email is to be given a whistleblower status by ICB. I will explain you later what this means. It's something important, and this is why it's called whistleblowing, this procedure, because of this whistleblower status, basically. And I will explain to you in the next slide. Now, what other thing you should write in the email? Of course, your full name and contact information, and you should sign the email under the quote, I understand that by submitting this, I'm submitting a complaint under the complaint lodging and whistleblowing protocol, and I shall respond and follow ICB guidelines. The behavior that you should have when you submit this whistleblowing. You should respond to our emails within 48 working hours, unless we give you another deadline. What are the consequences of the whistleblow? So what will happen is that ICB will take your case, the case that you submitted, and will assess the situation within 15 days. And if there are reasonable doubts that this happened and this is happening, we will decide what are the next steps. So it's up to ICB to decide what will happen in the entity. Now, I wanted to talk to you about the good faith. This is something really important in whistleblowing, and it's something that changed with IC 2020. Why? Because before IC 2020, when you were submitting a whistleblow, there was this thing that you needed to do that it was that you needed to submit to ICB not only the information that you just saw, but you also needed to submit at least 2 proofs of communication that happened within you and the person that you are reporting. So basically, if you wanted to report this fake completed, you needed to show us proofs that you sent emails or that you sent WhatsApp messages to the LCP, for example, of this LC, telling them, hey, I know that this is a violation that is happening in your LC. What is going on? Or blah, blah, blah. And this thing, like these proofs that you needed to submit of communication was something that was making people not submit whistleblows, because you needed also to submit these proofs. So it was like something extra that you needed to do. And maybe someone had like some proofs of some bad thing going on, but they would submit the whistleblow to us and they wouldn't submit these proofs of communication. So we couldn't proceed with the whistleblow because there weren't these proofs of communication. And also it was a bad thing when, for example, there is a case of corruption going on. So if there is a case of corruption going on in the organization and you go to talk directly to the person that is corrupting, well, this person will hide the proofs or will stop doing it because they know that now they are like under the eye of ICB. So we changed this thing of good faith. Good faith stayed, but what happened is that the good faith is presumed by us. So you don't need to prove the good faith of your action. The proofs of communication were to prove that you are doing this in good faith, so that you don't have any personal interest in submitting this violation and that you don't want to obtain any personal advantages for your entity. But now we are not anymore asking you proofs for the good faith. We are presuming that there is good faith in you when you are submitting. And what will happen is that we find out that you didn't act in good faith, then we won't proceed with the case anymore. And so we won't proceed with the case only if we find out that there was some personal advantage for you in submitting this, and if we find out that you wanted some advantages for your entity. The other important thing that I wanted to talk to you was the whistleblower status. So I told you that this protocol is called whistleblowing because of this, like because you can get a whistleblower status and you can ask the whistleblower status. What does it mean? It means that we will give you the status of whistleblower if you ask for it. And whistleblower is given to an individual to protect his identity under ICB. And your identity won't be disclosed to any party under any circumstances apart from some individual or entities that the whistleblower has agreed to be discovered by. So it can be like the president of ISAC International, the MCP of an entity, or anyone else that maybe also could help us in proceeding the case. This basically means that you will act undercover. So maybe for you, it's really hard to submit this violation. Maybe like you are a member of that LC in which the fake completed are happening, and you don't want the LCP of the entity or your other like buddies in the LC to discover that you have reported this violation, because it can bring you like bad things. It can be that then later like they, I don't know, get angry at you or anything. So the fact is that your name won't be discovered by externals, by anyone that it's not ICB, because we are proceeding with the case, of course. So basically this is the whistleblowing protocol. It's super easy peasy. Like as you saw, it's just, there is a violation going on. You submit an email. In the email, you can ask to be given the whistleblower status. So no one will discover that it was you to report this to us. And ICB proceeds the case. And then if we discover that the case is real, like, and that the violations were happening, we decide the next steps for the entity. I wanted also to underline this for you. In the compliance matrix, you can find that there is a violation regarding the whistleblow. And this violation is not having a complaint or a whistleblowing system created in your entity. What does it mean? So in the protocol, you won't find this. So you won't find that we are asking to ECBs to have a whistleblowing system, but you can get it from the compliance matrix and the violation in the compliance matrix. So it means that a violation is you don't have this. So like the opposite is you have to have a whistleblowing system. So a call to action for you is to adapt everything that we have talked in this call in your reality. So in your entity as ECB. So basically, if some violation is happening in your entity in some else's, the members of your entity can report it to you and have a whistleblower status. And then you can act and see like if this misconduct was real, happened really in the entity or not, and then decide the next steps. This should be, according to me, legislated in your entity's compendium. So you should like create the whistleblowing system and present it to your entity and then make it legislated in the entity's compendium. But I think that this is like a super good thing that you can do because these misconducts can be stopped also at entity level. So I don't see why ECBs also cannot work with the whistleblowing. This is something really good for you. So this is the final call to action that I have for you. So to adapt this in your entity's reality. And this is the end of the call. I hope that you enjoyed. Thank you very much. I don't know if you have any questions about it. I see the chat, there is something. I will stop presenting. Okay, so we have some questions that are not related to the whistleblowing protocol because there is a harassment question. Matti, you can answer this one, and I can answer the other one. Does this protocol only apply if there are APs involved, or also if they are only members? You mean the harassment protocol or the whistleblowing, actually, because it's not written. I suppose the whistleblowing because you wrote now, but never know. Because for the harassment protocol is applicable to anyone in Isaac. So not just the protocol. Yeah, there are violations that can be applicable also to members. So it's not only for APs.
Okay, the question about the selection of the harassment prevention committee. Actually is a process that it's up to the MCP, because if you think about it, the ECB chair is elected in an application and so on. So there is a committee that elects the ECB chair and you have it. Then the ethic responsible, it's usually selected personally by the MCP. The MCP, of course, it's himself or herself. And the external usually is selected by the MCP because maybe he has more connection. If, for example, he decides to have a lawyer in the harassment prevention committee, can ask to the lawyer that follow the entity to be part of this protocol. So sorry for this committee. So actually it's the MCP who decide who is part of the committee. I hope that I answer your question.
Good. If we don't have any other question, I would close the call now. If you have a question really fast, you can just open your mic. Okay, amazing. So this was the last call of the ECB onboarding for APIP. Wow, amazing. Really congrats to the last 20 people that arrived till the end. Of course, you will have the recordings. So if you missed some sessions, you can see the recordings. I don't know if the responsibles for the ECB's onboarding want to say something.
Yes.
Amazing.
Thank you for the attendees. Thank you, Mika and Mati, for presenting your topics. I just wanted to say that today is the last day of the ECB onboarding. So you know we have the materials in the Google Classroom, and the quiz in the Google Classroom is the last one. So just make sure that you fill it, and in the next days you will receive the information about the winners, the cluster that won, and maybe we have some other prizes going on. So just stay tuned to your emails and to the WhatsApp group, and we are going to let you know who wins. So just make sure that you fill the quiz for today, because it's basically the last point that you can jump to the podium. So yes, and thank you so much for attending. In 5 minutes, you can go to the classroom and you will find the quiz and the materials posted. So thank you so much, and have a nice day, night, or whatever.
Yes, thank you for joining, everyone. And yeah, we finally arrived to the end.
Thank you so much, girls. It was really great.
Thank you.
Have a good day.